Hey everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. Welcome back to 30 Days of Sketches 4. We are on to day 9, and this is the fun sketch that we are working with. And you're going to watch me work with some 6x6 pattern paper. Now, one of my goals for the month of November was to kill 2 6x6 pattern papers, and like packs of it. And the one that I was really close to doing, so I knew this is going to be the one I was going to work with, is this Paige Evans line, and I think it's the turn the page line, if I'm correct. I think I am. So I just simply cut them into strips. I decided to go a little bit thicker strips than you can see in the sketch. I like the idea of having them be a little bit more. My photos are a little bit bigger than what you're going to see, so I felt like a little bit of a wider width to the strip was going to work best for what I was wanting to do. You're also going to see that for as simple as this layout turns out, I struggle. I haven't, so some people have a problem adding too much, like they struggle getting enough on their layout sometimes. I know I've heard that before. I have the opposite problem. I struggle with simplistic layouts. I really, really struggle with. I feel like it's missing something half the time. Like I forgot to do something. It needs more. I feel like I just need to add more and more and more and more. So this is one of the layouts where I tried really hard to be as simplistic as possible, and it is, especially for me. This is a pretty simple layout. I love the way it turns out, and it really, really highlights these photos, which is super important to me because these photos are, they're kind of a twofold thing. So Jackson, this happened February of this year, I think. Early spring, I think. Poor thing. He just was sick, not feeling well. He didn't have much energy. He stayed in his pajamas for like 2 days. But he was feeling well enough to hang out in my bed, and he got out all of his little Hot Wheels and he lined them all up and just kind of played with them for a minute, and then he was done. He didn't even play with them for very long. He didn't have that much energy. But I love that he lined them up, and he was like, "Look, Mommy, I made a big traffic jam," and it was really sweet. And the other thing is if you know this, one thing about having a child with autism is that they like to do stuff like this where they line things up, and Jackson is. He does do it. It's not something he does. It's not like a trait that I notice he does all the time. He doesn't have to have everything lined up all the time, but it is something he does like to do. And so it was one of those things where it shows that little bit of him, but it also is more about the fact that he's just sick. So that is what the photos are, and he looks so sad and sick, and I just want to hold him and cuddle him, and he doesn't even look this small anymore to me, so... Anyways, I do add a little bit of tissue paper to that one photo there, except when I went to tape it down, it got all jumbled up, and so it's a big hot mess, but that's all right. It's still there. I also loved that I was able to get some of the stars from one of the 6x6 pattern papers from that collection there. I fussy cut those out. I like that little added addition. It's kind of like that bottom strip that you see in the sketch. It's kind of the point of what I did that for. I do end up putting my title at the bottom instead of the top, and I have no circular element like you can see in the sketch, but that's okay. Again, I've said it a couple times already. You take the sketch, you get the inspiration you need from it, and you go from there. If that involves absolutely scrap lifting it from top to bottom, you do that. If it means you just do like I did and got inspired by the strips underneath the photo, go with it. You do what works for you to get you inspired to create. And for me in this layout, that was what I wanted. I wanted the little strips down at the bottom as well. I felt like that really helped kind of ground the layout. And it's still light and airy, but there's something there. So this is the basis of it, but it was too, like I had nothing. I had no embellishing. I had nothing. So I didn't want to add too much, but I went into my little boy collection paper bag. So this is my kit I received from Christina. I'm almost done with it. I've got a few bits and bobs there that are like boy themed and ephemera stuff, which is great because I was able to use like that little banner that says little dude. I use a sticker that says My Little Monster. I use this little Zoom because he's playing with cars. I also get a sticker used up that is of a car, which is awesome because, I don't really scrap this type of thing. I should. Maybe I should scrap my kids playing with toys more, but I don't. I also use a little skull and crossbones because, he's sick. I felt like that worked. So that's kind of what I end up using as my embellishing. And then to kind of help pop the fact that now I'm using a little bit of black in my title and in that little dude banner, I end up going back and tracing all of the pattern papers, just the outside of them, just kind of tracing them within the pattern paper. So it's got a little bit of something to stand out from. I do like that effect. It's a very subtle. It would be like inking the edges of your pattern paper or using it and actually putting it on the pattern paper and tracing it. It's all the same effect. It all does the same thing. It's very, very subtle, but it definitely does help, and it makes the whole thing cohesive, which is why I chose to do it. And yeah, you watch me put down and decide which car I want to use. I do go with that blue one, and I do choose that black skull and crossbones, and that's it. I'm gonna call it done, even though it was hard for me to do so. Please make sure you head on over and check out Christina and Crystal's takes for today. I'm very excited to see what they do, and we'll be back tomorrow with day 10. Thanks everyone so much for watching. Bye.